Welcome everyone to Saturday Night Hype, and we have got ourselves an incredible set of matches here on April the 4th. I am the Sentinel, starting off with a tag team match between the Paradox brothers, Para and Dox of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, going up against Noob-Smoke of Mortal Kombat. Now this all is taking place as a result of what happened a few weeks ago on a Battle City that occurred, actually one of the very first ones, where these two teams were entangled in a triple threat hardcore tornado tag team match that the Greasy Green Gigolos ultimately ended up winning, Piccolo and Reptile, to advance in aforementioned tournament. But that did not stop the Paradox brothers from bitching that they didn't get a fair shot. They didn't get their fair stake and their fair chance to show what they could do, even though they have already debuted in a regular tag team match where they won against the Rangers, albeit they were not CIW contracted at the time. So they are considering this their first tag team match ever in CIW, and while that is revisionist history at best, this is a perfect opportunity for them to show what they can do, going up against a team that has a lot of singles credentials but seemingly cannot put it together in a meaningful way in Noob-Smoke. But the Paradox brothers, the ambassadors for the tag team division in the CIW hierarchy, they answer, of course, the ambassadorship answers to the Council of Six, as these two teams ready to move on and make their presence known, as we are looking forward to, in 2 weeks' time, having a #1 contenders match for the CIW Tag Team Championships. And you have to imagine that one of these two teams with a win here tonight might find themselves in that matchup if they play their cards right. But we've got a lot of #1 contenderships coming up over the next couple of weeks. Later on tonight, we have a 6-man Exceed Championship #1 Contenders Battle Royal to main event the show. 6 huge names trying to get their statements, and of course, the PGW matchup sandwiched in between the creamy Oreo filling against the either end of the delicious cookie. Here we go, as referee Jerry Greenfield assigned to this contest in a collar and elbow tie-up to start out the matchup. Noob-Smoke, a former 3-time Exceed champion. Smoke, a former Exceed champion himself. As the Paradox brothers are practically 1-1 in their tag team acumen, if you count the triple threat hardcore tornado tag, beat the SPD Rangers when they debuted. And now here they are, and right now immediately getting double teamed by Smoke and Noob-Smoke, as the stomps into the corner are just non-stop at this moment. And now Smoke again dragging Dox into the corner, and oh, here we go again. More legs, more stomp, oh my God, more stomps, and referee Jerry Greenfield doesn't know how to take this smash mouth offense coming out of the gate here from Noob-Smoke and Smoke, but that's gonna be what's necessary, as both Para and Dox use the same set of finishers. They have the Fujiwara armbar, known as the Gate Guardian armbar, and Para gets tagged in, and so does Smoke. And now Para leaving the ring, and they also have those deadly Shadow Ghoul strikes that we've seen put away a number of individuals when they were both in, on a nice tandem leaving of the ring by Smoke and Noob-Smoke. You want to talk about a team that is synchronized. They are on one page, and that is so crucial, especially when you're facing a team like the Paradox brothers, who are known to speak in riddles but in half sentences that their brothers end up finishing in order to, make the labyrinth even harder for the adversaries to cross. And you know they're going to try to do the same here with Smoke and Noob-Smoke. And going for a leg lock, and Smoke, or Noob-Smoke rather, breaking it up. As now all of this action happening with Jerry Greenfield. Nice heel kick there from Smoke. As these tag matches here in CIW, they tend to take a good chunk of time, because it's more than just hitting your finish and going for the cover. You always have to be aware of where your opponent is, and a nice flapjack there, a double team, as referee Jerry Greenfield has got to get Dox out of the ring. He is the illegal man. And folks, here in CIW, there is no count to 5 for tag team members in the ring. The referee just has to take them out at their discretion. It is understood that they need to be out of the ring, but that is not always, well, let's just say that the wrestlers tend to take advantage of not having a 5 count to get out of the ring from. And when you don't have the rule, that's just the way it goes. But in any case, this matchup so far, it has been pretty much equal footing, as the Noob-Smoke were able to get the opening advantage early on, but right now it has been Paradox Brothers and both teams needing a minute to regain their composure. And that's what it's going to take. It's composure, it's luck. A lot of tag team winning in CIW comes down to luck. Just having the other tag team partner incapacitated or sometimes just out of the way or just not able to reach the cover in time. You know, it's all a set of catching them quick. Speaking of, small package 1, 2, and only 2. And I'm not sure whether Docs broke that up or Para kicked out first. But the match continues either way. We've got another tag team match after this. And oh God, that shout, that Dungeon Worm shout, that is oh so devastating. We've seen them use it a number of occasions. And oh God, what a thrust kick. As the Paradox Brothers, they have been impressive. You can't deny they've been impressive. They both made their official debuts in the Battalion Brawl back at the beginning of February. Actually, at the very end of January. And both of them now, this is their first tag team matchup. Maximilian Pegasus is the one who recruited them into ambassadorship, which includes Taya Gardner as the ambassador of the women's division, JOSHAGEDDON as the ambassador of external affairs, Mr. Clean, and oh God, whoa, my Lord, what a shot. A backbreaker leg drop, cover 1, 2, and if Docs had not broken that up, I guarantee you that would have ended the match. That was one of the damnedest tag team moves I have ever seen. A backbreaker into a leg drop. And I'm surprised Para's not concussed. This, folks, PGW's got a tag team match right after this. The first ever pairing, or the first ever matchup for the tag team of Lemmy, Lemmy from Motorhead, and Rick Astley. So I had to look at my notes here just to confirm that those were the two participants, which they are, and a nice spinning heel kick, as those two are going to be taking on, as far as I know, competitors that PGW has as yet revealed. And oh God, what an elbow drop from the top rope, preventing Para from leaving the ring, and Para landed right on his head and neck, which was already damaged from before. And what an arrogant pin from Cybot. 1, 2, and only 2. But Cybot not afraid to be a little cocky in his own right, and a double team there, not effective, as it was too close to the ropes, as Cybot is just trying to go right after Docs. As Para now getting chopped, viciously chopped by Smoke. As all four, this is a big endurance game. The chops are abundant. But this is all an endurance game, because it's not just about inflicting damage and getting the pin. You have to last and be expected to last a long time in tag team matches. There are a lot of singles matches that never go as long as these tag team matches do, because it's just such a different scope of wrestling, and a nice standing moonsault. And I would argue it's more complicated to wrestle as a tag team competitor in CIW than it is a singles competitor, even though the singles pool is quite stacked nowadays, as is the tag team pool. But it's just a different animal, so it's not as easy to just make a transition from one to the other, from a singles competitor to a tag team competitor, because it's a completely different style of wrestling. But I must admit, testicular torture hurts no matter which format you're competing in. And oh, what a heel kick counter into a heel kick of his own by Para. Excellent awareness there by the master of the Gate Guardian. Or one of them, as they are both the keepers of the labyrinth. Paradox Brothers had a nice little run in GX as well, as they fought Jaden Yuki, and I forget who the tag partner was. Was it? I don't think it was Aster Phoenix. Was it Silas or Cyrus? I don't know, it's been a long time since I've watched the anime. You Yugi nerds out there, fill me in on that, as I can't remember off the top of my head. And here's my controversial statement of the day. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is a better, well, except for the end of the last season, because they really needed a fourth season to wrap everything up. But the first 2 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX are probably the best anime of the Yu-Gi-Oh! franchise. Now, granted, I haven't watched a ton of 5Ds. I've heard that 5Ds is really good. And of course, I've got a nostalgia deep in the cockles of my cockles for the original anime, particularly season 4, that Cialavori Calcos run. I'm going on a complete off tangent here, forgive me here, but I truly do think that Cialavori Calcos filler arc was better than most of the actual arc that took place with Merrick and then subsequently Bakura. And not that any of that was necessarily bad, but there was just so much depth to what that filler arc was, and like heels were baby faces and heels that turn, and baby faces were heels, and then some of the heels tried to turn baby face, except that the big bad evil guy just like sealed them into oblivion. It's just great. It's just great. If there's any one to watch, that's the one season that I fully recommend, because it's just so there's so much depth to the writing in it, and a nice standing sidekick. Let's get back to the matchup here, as it has been pandemonium in and out of the ring. And now Saibot going up to the top rope, and an elbow, oh my God! An elbow drop to the back of Perra's head. How is Perra able to move, let alone flip into the ring after the punishment that he has taken in this matchup? As it seems like that dive might have actually done more harm to Saibot than it did Perra somehow. As referee Jerry Greenfield got knocked on the ropes, I'm not sure how, but folks, just in case he gets in the way here in this match, or somebody hits him further in this matchup particularly, you know what you can do to make sure his medical bills are paid. You might hear this in the main event as well. You gotta like, you gotta share, you gotta subscribe, you gotta switch that bell to all, so every time we post, you know to hashtag save a referee today. And don't forget to subscribe to Past Gen Wrestling as well, as they are doing their thing. They've got a great matchup coming up, as it's gonna be something. It's sure going to be something, as we are still waiting in eager anticipation for when CIW's representation will be over on PGW, but we have been very happy, and I hate to sound redundant, but we have been very, very happy with how this partnership has gone. We've appreciated everything that they have contributed. And now a cover here from Smoke. 1, 2, and only 2. Dox kicks out, but that almost was the match, and Perra was not able to get there, not even close. So that was an incredibly close. I'm amazed that he was able to kick out of that. And a spinning heel kick of his own, but now everybody's starting to look a little bit worse for wear, as this match is getting into the fatigue level matchup and the fatigue situation, and there's a lot more matchup that could take place, folks. We haven't even gotten into the thinking of it sometimes. You know, there have been times when this is like not even, you know, what was the matchup? I think it was the tag title matchup where DC lost the belts that was like 35 minutes because nobody could figure out how to get that isolated pin or submission. Spinning toe hold, they're not enough by Perra and Dox. And our main event 6-man, I'm eager to see how that's gonna go. We've got Strong Bad in it, Agent 47, the Green Ranger, KRS-One, Majin King, which I don't love that decision, but considering he did beat the Prince of Persia back on the debut episode of Saturday Night Hype in its episodal format, we figured he was worth a shot. He beat a former Exceeds champion, and Prince of Persia will also be rounding out that pool, and a standing moonsault again on the outside to Smoke. But Perra and Dox, they are definitely conferring here, as this might have been a little bit more of a matchup than they might have anticipated. Because I think Perra and Dox thought, oh, once we have them one-on-one, it's going to be easy. It's going to be simple. There's no weapons. We'll just be able to beat them promptly and have it all taken care of, kind of like they did with the Rangers. But it has clearly not been the case, as Smoke and Saibot are desperate for a win. They have had really a losing streak going on, and they've won a match here and there, but they didn't have a great turnout when it came into their feud that went, oh God, what a power bomb. Pin 1, 2, and Smoke barely got there to keep the match alive. Oh no, Shadow Ghoul strikes by Perra and ending with a heel kick. And boy, they come quick. And now Perra going up to the top rope and thinking better of it, and a Muda lock. But it's right on the edge of the ropes, and I have a feeling that Smoke's going to be able to, and there he gets the rope break, but Perra wasn't going to break it up until Noob-Saibot did himself. I'm sorry, that was Dox, rather. Sometimes it's hard to keep them in. Perra is in orange, Dox is in green. And now what is this? Oh God, more power bombs. More power bombs to Smoke, and a big power bomb, a spinning power bomb And that could be the end of Noob-Smoke's night. If Dox goes for a cover here, I'm not sure Saibot's gonna, well, now he's getting back to the edge of the ring. But all four of these men have got to be exhausted. And oh no, not the Shadow Ghoul strikes again, this time from Persia, and he landed all of them in quick succession, and that's the thing, they're deadly and they're fast. And now a cover here, center of the ring for the Watch-Up one. And I said for the Watch-Up, I'm sorry, I set the words to Wumbo. And now, oh God, now, come on now. And now a Fushwaga armbar, the big Gate Guardian armbar, and he's not the legal man, he can't get the submission, but you have to imagine that that's gonna make that smoke streak, oh, not again! You have to imagine that's going to make putting a smoke screen in on anybody exceptionally difficult. And a nice tornado DDT on the Dox, but Noob-Saibot has got to break up what Persia's doing. As Smoke, he is not looking good. He was put into that the armbar, the massive Gate Guardian armbar for a long time. His head's hurting him. I saw him holding his ribs earlier. He's been powerbombed to oblivion. Paradox has very quickly taken over this matchup. After we saw a lot of impressive stuff from Noob-Smoke in the early going, this later second half of this match has been mostly Persia and Dox, but Noob-Smoke fighting back voraciously, viciously, desperately, trying to get a win, dropping down, and now a counter here. Wait a second, and oh my lord! What an incredible counter by Dox. I thought for a second that Noob-Saibot had countered that, but a kick to the back of the skull to Noob-Saibot. Persia now tagged in. Smoke going up to the top rope. This is not a good move. An elbow drop, nobody there. Tried to go after Dox. I'm not sure that Saibot knows that Persia has been tagged in as the count from Jerry Greenfield begins. Now a nice fireman's carry by Noob-Saibot. Take a drink or a scoop of ice cream. As the referee's count approaching 4. And now a small package. That's not going to work, Noob. He's not the legal man, and I think now Saibot has realized that that is not the case and that Persia is the one who's legal. But I don't know if it matters. What Saibot drop kick and just barely missed. Went for a missile drop kick and just barely missed Dox's skull. Persia's head was getting ground to a bone by Smoke. And now the chops onto Dox as these two teams have been fighting back and forth all matchup. But who is going to walk away here in the opening match of Saturday night? Hype with the all-important victory with tag team title #1 contender implications. And oh God, I'm not even sure what Dox just did there, but it was lethal. Was that a clothesline that he just did? That was nuts. And oh, and Smoke tried for an Irish whip to Persia, but couldn't capitalize as his stomach and his abs have got to be just hurting him so badly. Everything's got to be hurting. This has been a long match with no end in sight, and there have been multiple attempts at covers by both teams, and neither have been successful. And now, now a Muda lock. Another Muda lock, this time onto Saibot. And now he countered it. Dox was able to stop Smoke from interfering, but no tap out on that exchange. But that might do it. The Gate Guardian armbar onto Noob-Saibot. And Noob-Saibot, he's got that big shadow bomb, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with it if his arm's not able to capitalize as Persia. And now look at this, as these two teams desperate for a win. The Paradox Brothers and Noob-Smoke. Our main event coming up, and we will have a short break in between this matchup and the Past Gen Wrestling Tag matchup with Lenny Kilmister and Rick Astley. And then after that, we'll take another short break and head right in to our Exceeds Championship #1 Contenders Battle Royal. Here on Saturday Night Hype, as this is all leaning towards Massacre, our next big 3-day event. May. Oh no, and Noob-Saibot went to elbow drop Persia, and Smoke just got caught in the crossfire. And I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but that might have been a crucial miscommunication between them. And now Noob is losing it here, choking out Persia. He's starting to get out of control. This is starting to degenerate here as Smoke starting to feel a sense of urgency, or Noob-Smoke rather, definitely starting to feel a sense of urgency. Para, the man, the legal man, and oh god, and now went to the top and Docs countered it, but going up to the top and being countered, ultimately, I guess, broke up the count. Greenfield getting colored up or tied up. Smoke attacking Para's arm now. As this is just getting absolutely just grungy. And oh no, not another set of Shadow Ghoul strikes. And that could do it for Noob-Smoke. Para going up to the top rope himself now and just stomping the leg. And I'm not sure whether he got everything he wanted there. And now, oh god, now just a regular armbar. Not a Gate Guardian version, just a regular version. And a spinning heel kick from Smoke. Trying desperately to keep this matchup in play for Noob-Smoke. And an elbow drop from Smoke connects. Now Jerry Greenfield, he's trying. He is trying as best as he can to get this restored and get order in the court. Oh no! As Noob-Smoke again, I think he was aiming for Para, but now, I don't know, maybe his mask is contorted, but Noob-Smoke is hitting everyone and everything. He gave Jerry Greenfield a timeout, as this is getting out of hand. I said it before, I'll say it again. This is just not looking good for either team, but one of them has to come out the victor here at some point or another, as Cybot, he's really starting to feel the effects of it. Doc's brought in, and then Doc's kicking Para out of the way. Another set of Shadow Ghoul strikes, but Smoke right there to break it up. Oh, wait a second. Jerry Greenfield talking to Smoke. Docs has the cover after the Shadow Ghoul strikes. Smoke is out of the ring. 1, 2, 3, and he couldn't get there in time. And just that split second of having to leave the ring doomed Noob-Smoke. Just a premature ring entrance to save the match. Ended up giving the Paradox Brothers the win after the Shadow Ghoul strikes. What a matchup. These two teams fought their asses off, but the Paradox Brothers with a triumphant, defiant win here tonight. And could this mean a title shot for them? We will find out in a couple of weeks' time when we determine that. But for now, we will be right back, and here comes Past Gen Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, currently in the ring, the team of Cowboy Dave Norris and William Brown. Dave Norris and William Brown, a makeshift tag team, the complete opposite of the Deadly Combination, making their way to the ring now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, hailing from England and weighing in tonight at a combined weight of 373 pounds, the team of Lemmy and Rick Astley. Perhaps the greatest tag team combination in the history of professional wrestling. Lemmy and Rick Astley, undefeated tag team. They faced every challenge that has come to them on the PGW channel. Nobody has been able to defeat this Deadly Combination. Certainly a team you'd never expect. As soon as they teamed up to try and take out DJ Khaled, they have been a force to be reckoned with. And Cowboy Dave Norris, 20+ year veteran of the sport, looking to start out here against Lemmy, but Lemmy wasting no time, quick drop kick. And as I said, if you've never seen these two men in action, you've really missed out. Forget about the Legion of Doom, the Midnight Express, all rubbish teams in my opinion, compared to the combination of Lemmy and Rick Astley. Not only a devastating force inside of the professional wrestling ring, but also in the musical studio. That mashup song, perhaps the greatest song ever written, on a beautiful dropkick by the Motorhead frontman Lemmy, really going to work on Dave Norris now, inviting him to do something back. He tries to, but Lemmy ducking out of the way. And another drop kick by Lemmy. This man is on fire. 5 litres of Jack Daniels before this match, and it's really showing the effects that is having. Is now he takes in the man himself, Mr. Rick Astley, with a nice kick to the ribs. Well, I'll tell you what, in the 80s we established many things that Rick Astley would never do. He's never going to give you up, he's never going to let you down, and he is never going to lose a tag team match. Undefeated on the channel. This man is a devastating force. People talk about the Goldberg streak. In my opinion, he'd snap Goldberg's neck with his little finger. This man is unstoppable, and now look at that beautiful Hurricane Rana off the top. And look at the dance moves, the greatest dancer in the history of this planet. As now Rick Astley really doing a number on Dave Norris, drops him abdomen first, knocking all of the wind out of him. And Dave Norris hasn't had a chance to get near his partner yet. I don't think he will. And now look at this, scoops him up. Big time leg drop off the top. This match could be over. Well, it would be if they wanted to end it here. They end it whenever they want. And Lemmy's not done here. Look at this power. Military press, pressing the 200-pounder right above his head. As Lemmy now, look at this power on full display. Drops him right into the canvas. Rick Astley wants to get back in the ring. And Dave Norris looks to be done for here. And he certainly will be after this move. Astley nailing the Rick roll. And now knocking William Brown off the apron. Well, Astley and Lemmy have completely walked over this team. Now nailing the Rick roll, hooking the leg, referee making the count. And what can you say about that? A flawless performance, perhaps the greatest tag team of all time. Astley and Lemmy victorious once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team of Lemmy and Rick Astley.
Well, for some reason that wasn't the main event. Don't ask me why. But nonetheless, the greatest tag team in history. Victorious, and remember, Motorhead's Wall Rick Roll, never going to give you the ace of space, the greatest track ever created. Now available in all good retailers. Get it in time for Christmas. If you pre-order now, well worth a buy in my opinion. Now back to CIW. Beat that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from the break, but we have to take you to some footage that happened during the past gen wrestling match that you just saw, as one of these participants has been assaulted brutally in the parking lot. As we're going to ask our production team to go ahead and play that footage now, as we are getting into our main event 6-man battle royal #1 contenders match. But Majin Riddick, during the PGW match, assaulting Agent 47 in the back. We didn't know this until somebody got some cameras onto it, and then we finally got the word, and now here we are, as past gen obviously doing its thing in the second matchup here in this night, as we get to our massive #1 contenders exceeds battle royal. But I'm not sure Agent 47 is going to make it there, because Majin Riddick going after his old tag team partner in Agent 47, part of the Shades of Black. They won the intellectual property of the Shades of Black, and you saw it right there, the skull of Agent 47 cracked by that shovel that was pulled out of the garbage chute. And now just the torturous Riddick clutch. All it takes is a second, and then it's spine cracking. But that wasn't where he stopped. And none of us knew this was happening until just a few moments ago, as we were all watching what you were watching, ladies and gentlemen. And then he went for it again, but clearly Majin Buu has sent his henchman Majin Riddick to ensure us all that the old ways of Riddick are well and truly gone, and who knows what that's going to mean. But ladies and gentlemen, thankfully, Michael Corleone had a backup plan, as Kiani Mundi just so happened to be in the building, so he is going to be replacing Agent 47 in this match as a result of what Majin Riddick has done. And so now, Strong Bad, Kiani Mundi, the Green Ranger, KRS-One, Majin King, and the Prince of Persia all compete, and the winner will face Ken Masters at Massacre on May 22nd through 24th for the Exceeds Championship, as Majin King given a huge assist. But here comes Strong Bad, who had a great victory over Mario a couple of weeks. Hey, wait a minute! And God, no sooner did I speak his name into existence as he's on the ramp with a steel chair assaulting Strong Bad. And I guess he's a little butthurt, not surprising from Mario, who's always butthurt. Even when his butt isn't hurt, he's butthurt. And is clearly crashing out here against the man who beat him in Strong Bad back on a couple of weeks ago on Saturday Night Hype. And Mario has still not gotten over it. And oh God, where are they going? Mario's starting to drag Strong Bad. I don't like where this is headed here, as what the hell is going on here? We already had an assault during the PGW match. These two are now fighting in the bar area. It is madness here, as these two, we're gonna follow this as much as we can, as I'm not sure whether Strong Bad's gonna be able to make it into the matchup, as these two clearly have some unresolved issues. God, all we want is a main event. All we want is to get it to the main event. Strong Bad thrown right into the jukebox, which was playing his techno music. The system is down. But Mario, who has just had a wild amount of success in the Mario movie, Super Mario Galaxy, that released on April 1st. But this ain't no April Fool's joke, that's for sure, as he is just raining down right hands onto Strong Bad. And that's the thing about Mario and CIW. He takes every little loss, every inefficiency so personally, and he never takes accountability for it because he feels like he's above accountability. So I'm not upset with Strong Bad getting a little bit more punishment going in on the man who assaulted him, trying to take him out of the Exceeds #1 Contenders Battle Royal. Here in this episode of Saturday Night Hype, oh no! As that SmackDown sign just got broken, that is neon, folks. And that's gonna poison the blood. And I'm not sure whether he was lacerated in that. I mean, I think the mask might have prevented some of that damage. But Mario now on the assault here in the bar. We still have a battle royal to do, Mario. Why did you do this now? And where did he come from? He came from the side of the ramp, so he must have bought a ticket and took his chair with him. And Mario now, oh God, no, come on, man. Don't do this, Mario. Oh, why? Why do we keep putting C4 into these pinball machines? We need to bring this up at the next council meeting. Why is this still happening? And oh God! Every time I see it, no matter how many times I see it, it is nonetheless devastating. And look how proud Mario is. And what the hell does this mean now? As we're gonna try and bring out the rest of the members of this battle royal. As here comes Kiadi Mundi, replacement of Agent 47, who was in this battle royal no longer because of Riddick. I'm getting word that now the EMTs are converging on the scene to check up on Strong Bad. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it tonight. We'll likely escort him to a hospital or at least a clinic. And perhaps he will be able to get some treatment. But here comes Kiadi Mundi, who has been trying unsuccessfully to get his foot into the door as far as making his CIW presence felt, but it also has been pretty early on for Kiadi Mundi. He has made his debut back at the Battalion Brawl, back at the Drummer's Call of the WrestleBration 12, back at the beginning of February. He was in a Fatal 4-Way. He was in the Battle City #1, the first episode of Maximilian Pegasus's brand, in the main event no less, where he got annihilated by King Leonidas. So this battle royal could be his way to the top, but it also could be Bridges' opportunity. As the Green Ranger, now the SPD Rangers, you can't deny the SPD Rangers have been having a hell of a time doing what they've been doing. They've been very successful in their efforts, albeit that they are right now, they had a huge win over the Keanu Connection, as the Keanu Connection have not been able to recover from that at all. That was at Equinox, as they have been in a rough shape ever since. I mean, but to be fair to the Keanu Connection, they did win a matchup against the Sons of Lavos and Shiva and Majin Wario on Battle City last week to advance in the Mirror Force tournament. But the Rangers right now have a lot of momentum on their side, and what would it mean for Bridge, the Green Ranger, to come out of this with a win? Maybe the biggest underdog in the match is the Green Ranger, but here comes KRS-One. who you know has got to be looking for a little bit of vengeance, at least in some way, perhaps indirectly so, against the New Boo crew, as the opening match of Saturday Night Hyper, the second matchup in that, saw Majin Riddick go up against KRS-One, as Majin Riddick, KRS-One put in a little bit of fight, but it was almost all Majin Riddick, who has once again made his presence felt here tonight, and I'm sincerely afraid that the New Boo crew is already influencing and getting on the wrong side of everybody, and that could be bad for them or even worse for CIW and the health of CIW's roster. But let's hope KRS-One, the 60-year-old legendary rapper from New York City, he is here, the KRS, and I'm going to let his actions do the rest. The master of the IMAMCRU-1-2, when he was also in that battalion brawl, finished second to last, of course, to the winner Liu Kang, who is fuming, by the way, absolutely it's like livid fuming about what happened with Sephiroth at Equinox as Bully McGuire named the #1 contender. And here comes Majin King, who the last time we saw Majin King was in a battle against the Prince of Persia, which he won also on that first episode of Saturday Night Hype back on the 28th or the 21st, excuse me, of February. Majin King was very impressive in that matchup, going to town on the Prince of Persia, who was also in this matchup, as Majin King, who has the sword that Abizzle used to put on an incredible tax, and now I am told that Majin King is paying Abizzle nothing, and Abizzle is not happy about it. So he's just has the sword, and he's just not paying, and he's bringing it with him. And you know Abizzle in finance. You know, Abizzle's pretty pissed off at what happened. He's really kind of like mad at cats as a whole. Abizzle's had going through it in the cat world, as this cat's not paying for his sword, and Rasad pinned Abizzle with the skooma stabber last week on Battle City in order to win in advance in the Millennium Championship tournament. So Abizzle clearly upset with the cat world at this moment. But what does it mean for Majin King? And you want to talk about worst case scenario, as we have already dealt with enough of the Forgotten Fighters with Ken Masters, who, albeit had a very impressive victory over Simon Belmont and Nathan Von Schrader at the WrestleBration 12, but to be fair, Ken Masters has had bailouts over and over and over from 8 months of a reign of terror the Forgotten Fighters laid on CIW, and Ken Masters now the only one left of the Forgotten Fighters who holds gold. But for him to face Majin King, that is like like the worst versus the even worst. And I don't even have eloquent adjectives to describe how awful that would be. But here comes a man who can easily bounce right back into that stratosphere. This man, the Prince of Persia, a former Exceeds champion in his own right, having beaten Abizzle to win the belt back in 2024, held it for a good chunk of time, defended it against Sephiroth in a couple incredible matches, and actually lost it to Ken Masters, and had a series of matchups where this man got screwed out of that belt repeatedly. That is the Prince of Persia, as he really wanted to make sure that he got his way back to a title that he believes he never should have lost, considering the extra. And now, I guess, did we find somebody else? Oh, we don't. No, wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. No, Mike, come on. You can't just attack somebody who is in the match and enter the fucking match. That's not right. The council didn't approve this. You cannot reward Mario. No, this is wrong. This is bullshit. No, this should have been approved by the council. I'm sorry, Mario, this should have been a 5-way match. You're telling me that Mario, for attacking Strong Bad and putting him through an explosive pinball table, is going to get rewarded for doing so by being put into this Exceeds Championship matchup? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. As Mario is getting an opportunity here as the 6th man, and we're going to have to talk about this one, as I do not approve. And I know I'm just 1/6 of the equation nowadays, so I don't have the clout I used to. But at the same time, There's something just morally wrong about gifting somebody an opportunity for being a dick and assaulting a man with a chair who had every right to be in this matchup because he beat this man fair and square, center of the ring, and admittedly a hell of a matchup between both of those guys. I won't deny that Mario is a hell of an athlete. His athleticism is not the issue here. Why is he getting this opportunity? I don't know. Here we go. As it is 6-man elimination rules, you cannot leave the ring. Last man standing is the winner. Pinfall submissions count. Disqualifications, I suppose, but you'd really have to force it. As we have got here in CIW, referee for this contest is Jonah Hill. Thank you, Jonah Hill, for being here, and dear God, be careful. And immediately getting stomped by Majin King, as it is going to be okay, now come on! Really, King? Really? Immediately sweeping the leg of Jonah Hill. And folks, the only way that you can help pay for his medical bills is to like, is to share, is to subscribe, is to switch the bell button to also every time that we air, you know, to hashtag save a referee today. I don't like any of this, man. This whole thing has got me giving me stomach belches. And oh, what a knee to the face! To the almond-shaped dome of Kiadi Mundi went the knee of that man KRS-One. As any one of these men, Ken Masters obviously waiting in feverish anticipation here in your main event of Saturday Night Hype to find out who he will face at our next major event, Massacre, in May. The cover from Onto Kiadi Mundi, but right now there's a half Boston Crab that's being paid attention to. Cover 1, 2, and only 2 testicular torture to Mario, which I think was broken up by accident by King running into him. Oh, what is Majin King gonna do? What is this? Is this gonna be a thunderous superplex? And I think that the legs of the Green Ranger impact the legs of Prince of Persia. 1, 2, and only 2 as Bridge kicks out. And a lot of action happening here, as who knows who's going to get the first elimination, but this is a test of endurance. You have to have incredible ring awareness. You've got to be basically paying attention of everything at every given time. There's no place to rest, because if you leave the ring, it's an automatic disqualification. And when you have an opportunity to face a champion, you don't want to squander it by making stupid mistakes. Right now, this is anybody's matchup. A nice over-the-top suplex there by Bridge. And a nice kick there. Oh, it's hard to keep track. Nice spinning Rana pin. 1, 2, and only 2. And a Maigito pop there. A Maigito soda. A fizzy bubbly drink. And now look at that arm brace. That leg lock on the arm by King. Now just Mario just raining down right hands on the KRS. Mario shouldn't even be in this matchup. But that's a story for a different occasion. And got all 6 of these men vying hard. 1 man shouldn't even be in there. 2 men shouldn't even be in there. Mario shouldn't be in there, and Kiadi Mundi technically shouldn't be either because of what happened to Agent 47. Folks, if you're just joining us, during the PGW matchup, which was second on the card tonight, Agent 47, who was slated for this match, was assaulted by Majin Riddick. And now what is going on here? And a rolling thunder from Majin King. An incredible move, and now a cartwheel moonsault. God, the acrobatics of Majin King. Cover 1, 2, and only 2 as Prince of Persia was leaning all of his weight onto Mario onto the ropes there as that was ongoing. Here in this main event of Saturday Night Hype, and of course stay tuned next week for Battle City number 4 taking place, as I believe we have our final Millennium Championship Tournament quarterfinal matchup main eventing, which you are not going to want to miss. That has been heating up week by week. I don't like Maximilian Pegasus, but the action has been awesome. I cannot deny I've quite enjoyed what has been going on and what he's been able to bring to the table. As much as I don't like the man, I can do business with him, which is what matters. But ladies and gentlemen, we have got a long road still to go to Massacre. We've got more Saturday Night Hypes. Of course, we alternate between our two brand Saturday Night Hype that's run by myself and Michael Corleone, and of course, Battle City, which is all tournament-based, run by Maximilian Pegasus, as we alternate Saturdays. Because I know we've gotten a lot of new viewers in just the past couple of weeks during this PGW partnership, which has been going pretty well, I would say. You know, we've appreciated all the PGW fans who've enjoyed what CIW has done, and appreciated that PGW has allowed us the opportunity, well, at least to air their show. You know, we've been trying to get this Dante Joker thing going on for a while. I don't know what's been going on with that, but in any case, back to the matchup. But we do still love our friendship with PGW. Oh, Warp Pipe onto Kiani Mundi. 1, 2, and all 3. Kiani Mundi, the first eliminated, as Majin King was hit with the IMAM CRU and 2. Sands of Time by Prince of Persia. The cover onto Kiani Mundi, but the referee again is focused on the submission. This time the knee into the back. 1, 2, 3, and KRS-One has been eliminated. And boy, you want to talk about everything happening all at one time. As King weathering an IMAM CRU 1-2, Kiani Mundi got warp piped. A nice sweep of the leg there to Mario. Cover onto the Green Ranger. 1, 2, 3. Green Ranger's eliminated. Split-legged moonsault. Waiting for the cover here. 1, 2, 3. Only 2. Mario kicks out at 2. And we are down to the final 3. As it was a great split-legged moonsault and a nice reverse heel kick there from King. I don't like how much he has been. Oh no, wait a minute. Not the Tekken Tiger Driver. Tekken Tiger Driver. Down goes Mario. That's gotta be it. 1, 2, 3. And we are down to, oh boy. We are down to the final 2, and it is King and Prince of Persia once again. And you have to know, Prince of Persia has got to be happy to be getting another chance against Majin King. But King hit him with a couple of really nasty kicks right out of the gate, and oh no, and Prince of Persia made him pay as he was doing the Prince of Persia taunt, and Persia had none of that. Go Prince of Persia. I don't like picking sides, but after what the Noob crew did to Sephiroth after the statement they made on the first episode of Saturday Night Hype, and the impression they've already made here tonight, and how much I would dread a King versus Ken Masters matchup, give Prince of Persia the chance to win back that belt he shouldn't have lost. And now, but is he going to be able to beat King one-on-one is the question. And a nice leg lock there that he's got, and just wrenching the heel, wrenching the knee. There's a lot of different pressure points on that leg lock from King. And you know, we didn't really get a chance to see much of King prior to his conversion to Majin King. As a matter of fact, the only time we saw him was in the incoming talent battle royal in March of last year, and then his first singles match was against Majin Buu, and that was that. Split-legged moonsault, gotta be it. Cover. 1, 2, 3. Only 2, thank God. Prince of Persia kicked out. But God, oh God, and another kick. And every time it looks like Prince of Persia's getting anywhere, in come the feet of the Kitty King. Now bracing the arm, trying to attack the elbow, trying to make it difficult for Prince of Persia to hit that Sands of Time. We've already seen it once, as it did eliminate KRS-One. And now went for, oh God, and now just a kick, and I think he might have landed his foot right into the stomach. As King has taken firm control here on a Rolling Thunder again. As Prince of Persia now looking way less good than he was when it got to the final 2. And another Rolling Thunder. As King, oh come on King. And now another cartwheel moonsault. And yeah, it's all impressive, but it's just difficult to watch. It is so difficult to watch as King just reveling in it. And I've never known King to be that. I mean, I've known him to be a cute cat, but I've never known him to be a cocky, cute cat. And it's not cute anymore. It's just, it's sickening. It's quite sickening to know. And I bet you that if King was in the right mind, it wouldn't be like this. It wouldn't be like this from King, but no. I wanted to like King when he came to CIW. I didn't want to despise him because of what our champion, Majin Buu, did. Low blow and a Tekken Tiger driver just end it. Oh, god damn. 1, 2, 3. Majin King is your #1 contender for the Exceeds Championship. Majin Buu is the world's champion. We can't do this again. We just ended the forgotten. Fuck. Majin King pins Prince of Persia again after dominating in 3 consecutive minutes. And Ken Masters is gonna need the help this time for sure. As what does that mean for the Exceeds Championship at Massacre and for the Noob Buu crew? Thank you all for coming to Saturday Night Hype, and we will see you next week for Battle City. Take care, everybody.